about rap at all? Not yet. Doesn't it appear to be extremely coincidental that you guys arrest people right outside of Governor Newsom's press conference? Is this really just a show of power?
Patriot Secret Service, Sam. This is Samson's World. That's right. This is Samson's World, where court, comedy, culture, and your universe collide. I have a very special show today. I have Nicole Arbor, who, if you guys are not familiar with her, she is a hilarious comedian, singer, songwriter. I'll let her tell you everything about herself as well. And she has been involved in this whole Jelly Roll debacle. Now, if you guys know Jelly Roll, the singer, he started off as a trap rapper. Now he went to country, like Post Malone. My son said, called him Post Melon, which was pretty funny. But let me bring Nicole into the mix here so we can get into this. Let's see. Nicole, are you there? I think I have.
Hello, I am here.
Hello. I'm good. How are you doing?
Keep playing victim, time to flip the table on your lies. I'm so good. I'm amazing.
Good. Nicole, where are you at? I'm in Los Angeles. Are you in Nashville? Is that right? Or where are you?
I'm in a secret location hiding from rolls of jelly. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
The rolls of jelly. I feel like the rolls of jelly probably smell like they say that BBL smells like, you know, like just kind of like old cottage cheese smell or something like
sewer
that.
water. Like
Yes,
if you're at a
sewer
bar
water.
late night in the summer and there's like that smell coming out of the sewer. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of. Like Mardi Gras, streets of Mardi Gras smell, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or Nashville at like 4 a.m. on a Saturday night, just like vomit and dirty old beer. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
That sounds about right. Now, for people who don't know, Jelly Roll is a country artist right now. I actually went and saw the movie Goat with my family last night. It's like an animated movie, which is actually pretty good. But Jelly Roll was singing in the end of it, had a song, and I was like, who's that? My son's like, that's Jelly Roll, Dad. And I was like, oh, that's I haven't even really listened to any of his music. You know, he started off as like a trap rapper that like a lot of white artists used to use black culture, and then all of a sudden like, hey, but I really want to do country, and switches over, and everybody knows he weighed like 400 pounds, and then he found the Lord and he started working out, doing Ozempic, lost a ton of weight. Married, his wife is Bunny XXO, who I think is like a porn star. So okay.
Escort. Wasn't escort and made porn.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Which is so on par for Jesus, right? I mean, it's so
of course. Of course.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, it's you know, it's right. It's in his wheelhouse. You know, Jesus would be like, you know, make sure you marry a whore. No, allegedly.
Going more. Yeah.
But it's just so funny. So if you don't mind, tell people a little bit about yourself and just, you know, with this whole Jelly Roll debacle, you know, because I first got a little annoyed with him. Sorry, I asked you a question that I'm still talking.
That's okay.
But at the Grammys, when he won the award, it's like, thank you, Jesus, thank you. And if you know, I've found Jesus, and thank you, Jesus. And then they say, Jelly Roll, what do you think about the current state of things going on with ICE and and politics? And he's like, oh, I'm just a dumb redneck. You don't want to ask me. I just cell phone 4 months ago, you know, and just typical, as we call it, performative Christianity. And so I was really annoyed by that answer and had made some videos. And then somebody was like, Sam, have you seen the whole Jelly Roll debacle, you know, the controversy? I was like, no, what's going on? And I search it up on TikTok, and then I start to see your videos. And so if you could just kind of give people a little explanation of how you come into the mix with Jelly Roll.
Well, I think it was around February 11th. My lawyers had forwarded to me what I would consider a hush money deal from Jelly Roll. And it was version, I don't know, let's say 10 or 12 of agreements, like just somewhere along those lines. And at this, it started off as something that's going to be constructive and, I think they think you're beautiful. That's so sweet. Yeah, it started off as he wanted to apologize to me, apparently, is what I was told. And then
Okay.
over a whole year of our lawyers talking to each other, it morphed into what I can only describe as a hush money deal. And then morphed into, it's a hush money deal and you're going to take this, or we're allegedly going to sue you. And sue me for what? I don't know. But we're going to sue you. We're going to make you go bankrupt, tie you up in court. These are the kind of threats that were being thrown at me from people in their camp. And I just had a moment on that like February 11th, I think it was, where I'm just like, you know what? On behalf of all victims, you. I don't know if you swear on your show.
Yeah, you can say what you want here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, fuck you. Cosplay Christian it is. And that's how that started. So this is something that's actually started in 2021, my actual issue with him. And I haven't dove
it was like
fully
5
into
years.
it. It's been going on and going on. And I haven't dove totally into exactly what him and his wife did because it's so psychotic that I had to show people who he was or who they are first. So that by the time I tell you, you guys are like, oh, we get it. Because if I would have just come out right away and been like, oh, this is what's happened to me, people would be like, that nice country Christian singer. And it's like, no, that's not who they are. So that's where it all really started in the last few weeks.
Yeah, because I've seen like in some of the videos you've posted and videos I've seen on Jelly Roll, of course, a lot of it started with, Ryan Upchurch has come into the chat in a sense where he posted a video where Jelly Roll was like, yeah, Ryan Upchurch, I'm Jeffrey Epstein to Ryan Upchurch, and him, Bunny and I are carrying his secrets or making sure he, so everybody's like, what is this video going on? What do you make of that video and of Ryan Upchurch kind of being involved in this? Because Ryan Upchurch has also been trying to say that Jelly Roll is not quite who he seems to be.
Oh, Jelly Roll is not at all who he seems to be. Like, in my personal opinion, it is a 100% act that he puts on. It's like a coat of Christianity and country music that he zips up to go on stage and make money off dumb Christians, and he puts on his accent extra thick.
Yeah.
It's complete BS. And behind the scenes, in my personal opinion, he is Diddy level evil. Like, that's who this guy actually is. And I have way more stuff will come out. My DMs are full of other people who've had horrific experiences with this guy and his wife. And we all have very similar things to say about them. And so that stuff will be coming out in the next little bit. But like, so far, I think you guys have seen as like a little recap, he's like this super country, whatever. He yelled the N-word. If that offends you, that offends you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's the N-word. He talks about shooting another recording artist. I think he's a recording artist, but shooting somebody else, which is super disturbing to me and his other victims, especially when he's trying to push, I think it's Congress or legislation, to allow former felons to have their gun rights back. It's like, could we not give the guy who's sitting there talking about shooting somebody his gun rights back? Like, let's not,
Yeah, so he's like, I just want to go hunting. You're like, for people? You're like, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
and I saw a video. I saw a video when he was like in his car, and it's like he was like in a store or something, and some woman says something. He's like, I wanted to go and rip her head off on this fucking bitch and be able to do it. What was that video about? I mean, because to me, I was like, kind of similar to Diddy when I covered the Diddy trial, seeing Cassie video. You're like, wow, this is who he really is. It's not this polished guy you see on Ellen. And that was a side of Jelly Roll I hadn't seen. Can you explain a little bit what that video was? Or
yeah, so that video, that's the Fleet Feet video. That's the Jelly Roll that I encountered. That's the Jelly Roll that I met. That guy.
Okay.
At that level of like screamy, crazy, scary, rotted teeth in your face. Yeah. So that video, I initially saw that one on Reddit. And he's screaming that he walked into a store and allegedly the young person working there didn't serve his mom fast enough for his liking. So he threw a giant fit in the store. He put his mom back in the car and went back in there to crawl in that kid's ass, I believe he said. And then he threatened the kid with violence, something like that. He might have assaulted the kid. It depends how you like watch the video. But either way, the manager asked him to stop, and he turned his anger to the manager through a giant fit. And I think he said he wanted to hit him with the open hand of the Lord was the line that I want that on a t-shirt.
So
honestly.
funny to me, the open hand of the Lord. You're like, I love it. I just love performative Christianity where it's like, I love Jesus, but I would kill somebody. You know,
I would hit that child with the open hand of the Lord for not getting my mom her hocus. It's like, what is wrong with you? And I don't know if this one's true, but like on Reddit, there's someone commenting in there that's saying they're the kid that worked there. And they're like, I was getting like commission or they get points or something for selling shoes. Okay. He's like, someone else came in that I had already served and I wanted to serve that person first. So I got my credit for my sale. And I didn't like, this lady was already getting served by someone else. And this guy just lost his shit. So there's like, I think it's millions and millions of views on that on Reddit.
Here's the video that we were just speaking about. Let me play this real quick for people.
I just went to Fleet Feet, a place I bought dozens of pairs of shoes at. And I took my 71-year-old mother there. I watched the store manager walk up to a young man working the desk and go, hey, would you help that sweet old lady over there? Young man goes, and he points at a guy walking in the door. Younger man. I watched this young fucking cock-sucking, cocky prick just kind of shrug her off. Wow. I'm losing my voice. I'm so mad. I just screamed at everybody in the store. The manager fucking just walks back, grabs another dude. The whole time I'm sitting there thinking, I want to fucking hit this young man with the open hand of the Lord. And I just go through it. I smile because I don't want mama to see me mad neither, you know? And I'm dealing with it. We get to finish it. I walk my mother outside and I walk back in the store and I crawl in that fucking kid's ass. And then the manager has the audacity to fucking tell me, sir, could y'all talk about this outside? I don't want my customers hearing it. I said, bitch, you need to worry about the customers on the internet hearing this. You don't need to worry about the 3 people in here buying a $180 pair of fucking hokers hearing it. And one, you wouldn't have to worry about customers knowing what the fuck's going on in this store if you taught some proper etiquette to your motherfucking employees.
Whoa.
See, what y'all don't know is God is with me. I am blessed. I am thankful and I am grateful and I am full of gratitude because if I was not, I would march back into that store right now and it would look like a scene out of a motherfucking movie.
Wow. Yeah, I love it.
He's like, so
if
creepy.
I didn't love Jesus so much, I would kill you. I mean, it's like, how do those two things exist? You know what I mean?
He's like a horror movie character. He's like, to me, he's like a thriller / horror movie character that on one side, it's like, I'm this nice Christian guy that was saved because I was in prison and I read my Bible, which by the way, wasn't he in juvenile like 20 years ago? Wasn't that like a long time ago? But then he was saved. But after jail, he became apparently a notorious drug dealer. And then he married a hooker. And then he did all this crime, apparently. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just such BS that,
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's so weird watching that video. He taped that himself.
Right. I mean, and then put it on the internet and thought that that was going to be a good look for him. I mean, it's just, I mean, the way he's cursing, as angry as he got, and then says if he wasn't a good, like, God-fearing man, basically, he would have gone on and gone back in and made it look like a movie, which I'm thinking like, what, Pulp Fiction or something like this, Kill Bill. I mean, it's
probably not the Minions. Like, he's probably talking something scary. Like,
yeah, it's not a Pixar movie he was talking about.
No, it's not the GOAT.
No, it's not the GOAT. And it's just, and even like I was saying, he's in the end of a kid's movie singing in the GOAT. You know, I don't know. I wonder if Jelly Roll's time is coming close to up, so to speak. Let's see. Claudia on Instagram is saying, thanks for sharing. All the hypocrisy is coming out. I don't understand why they use the love for God and Jesus and then be someone you're not, you know? And I totally agree with that. I get so tired of performative Christianity. It's like, you don't have to tell everybody you love Jesus, just show us. Or, you know, I'm Jewish, so I'm just like, I just believe do unto others as you want done to yourself. So I'm like, just, you know, show us by your actions, you know, not like, you know, I always love people like, oh, I go to Bible study 5 times a week. And I was like, I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, show me. And you're a jerk. Yeah. And then let's talk about what is it? Tommy Vext. Is that his name?
Oh man, you're making my hands
Tell
sweat.
me
You're
a little
talking
bit
about all
about
these
him.
scary people.
Yeah, I mean, now I saw him, like, he's been arrested before, and this is one of Jelly Roll's friends, and he's been in trouble for talking to women. I think I might, let me see if I can also pull up one of those recordings. You know, you can kind of tell a little bit like people like who he is and how he comes into play in this.
Yeah, you want me to tell them right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that Tommy Vext guy, he was like a huge fan of mine, like 2020 or 2020, like during COVID times, and kept being like, I'm a huge fan of yours, huge fan, Nicole. He showed up to Dallas when I was shooting the Glenn Beck show. And he's like, you know, I just really wanted to meet you. I think we could like date or at least be friends. And I called a couple people that we knew in common just based on like Instagram. And they were like, he's a sober coach that worked with Justin Bieber and lived in Justin Bieber's house, is what he said. And I was like, is Justin sober? I don't know if he's good. He's a Christian guy. He's a great person, whatever.
Sure.
Within like a week, I saw that he had this like 2-year restraining order against him for violence towards his ex-girlfriend. And it was pretty scary stuff. And it got scarier because I believed her. Like once I met him and once I saw the way he was acting, and she just got a restraining order against him, and he was trying to call her new boyfriend to yell at him and threaten him. Or he was trying to call her and he was like, he had Finstas like looking at her stuff. I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to be doing any of these things. So yeah, he was very scary. And then when I said that, I believed her and I didn't want to be associated with him publicly, he turned his stalkingness onto me.
Wow. And
this is a good friend of Jelly Rolls.
Right. And let me play this video that I have of him kind of speaking.
Causing pain. I'm like, I'm not trying to cause you pain. I'm just like, leave me alone.
Okay.
Just
if you don't shut up, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna destroy you. Do you understand me?
What is that? What do you even mean?
Shut up. I am going to fucking erase you.
Wow. That is, he's talking to, scary. Is it Whitney, correct?
I think so. Yeah. That one's on Reddit too. I think that literally like, this is making my hands sweat. Like these are scary ass people.
Yeah, no, I don't want to, you know, and, you know, stop me if, you know, I'm doing, you know, I don't want to make you uncomfortable by this or anything, but I think it's important to kind of expose kind of a little bit who these people are. And I mean, you can just hear in his voice, like, I will erase you and all these things. Like, who do these people think they are, you know? And especially, you know, I hate to see this with women, you know, and the harassment so many women get. And, you know, it's interesting. I've even gotten DMs since kind of reporting on this stuff where people are like, oh yeah, that Nicole, she did, and this guy even inboxed me. He's like, yeah, man, I used to talk with her and flirt with her, and man, she turned me down. And it's just so interesting how guys are like, if a woman turns them down and doesn't take their advances, they're like, she's a hoe. And
or I'm going to destroy her life, which
yeah,
which seems to have happened to me in this situation a few times. Yeah.
Right. And then there's some talk about like roofing that's been happening in Nashville. Is that something we can talk about?
I was definitely roofied in Nashville. You know, something really interesting that I realized keeps popping up today is they're not real men. Real men treat women with respect and like an equal.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yep,
exactly. Yeah. That's why hearing this stuff like makes me sweat, because I'm like, who does that? I did not grow up with that. But yeah, when it comes to like the roofies and stuff like that, I keep seeing this rumor flying around online that I said that Ryan Upchurch SA'd me. That never happened. I've never said that. He didn't. And I've never said that. And the rumor keeps going back to apparently Bunny XO. It seems like Bunny created this rumor that, and it seemed, I'm like, oh, she was maybe killing two birds with one stone, making up that Ryan had this SA thing against him and that I said it. So then she gets to go online, you know, if this is her storyline, and be like, oh, Nicole made up a fake SA. She lied about it, while also pushing, oh, Ryan did these things. That seems to be what happened based on what I've seen people sending me today, which is crazy. So I just want to make sure everybody knows.
I'll pull that clip up in a minute too of her, but so she has a podcast and has been kind of using it to trash some of these women who have been speaking out against this.
Indeed.
And I totally get it. I had my wife, my wife and her friend, we went to I'll say it, the Hollywood Improv here in Los Angeles. And I was doing a comedy show with my good friend Tiffany Haddish and Arsenio Hall.
So funny.
And yeah, Tiff's great. And Tiffany and I literally went out to the parking lot for a minute to kind of hang out and chat. And my sister came out with us, and my wife and her friend were at the bar. I came back 15 minutes later, and our friend had this guy like all over. And I'm like, I go to my wife, Liz, like, Liz, what's going on here? Like, Emily's making out with a guy, and she's a lesbian. So I was like, this is totally, she's a lesbian. She doesn't like guys. So why is she making out with this dude? And my wife's like, and I was like, whoa, you're wasted. Like, my wife could barely stand at the bar. She couldn't even react, because I know normally my wife would be like, I know, what's going on? Emily's making out with a guy. Like, she would have been like, yeah, this is crazy. And I had never really seen anybody roofied or had that experience at all. And so my sister and I, we get in the car, and immediately my wife and her friend are just passed out on each other in the back seat. And I was like, what the hell happened? I was like, because, I was like, they didn't really, I was like, when I left the bar, I was like, all right, I'll be right back. They're like, okay, cool. They were normal. And when I came back into the bar, the guy was all over our friend. I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, the husband's back. And I was like, yeah, like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like,
the husband didn't leave for good. Yeah,
exactly. And it's so terrifying, because I realized like he kind of left after that. And so the next day I went to the Improv, got some of the security footage, and I saw it. And the guy had taken our friend Emily outside of the bar, walked her outside of it, went up into one of the podcast rooms, and basically was, sexually assaulting her. And it was just terrible, because, it was interesting seeing like the effects of a roofie, because he just took her hand and she went. And it really goes to show you how dangerous the drug is, and then how prevalent it is that men must do this all the time, that guy had probably come into that bar a lot and done this. And I'll never forget just looking at that security video of him just leading her, and she just went blindly. And I'm so thankful, like, he could have taken my wife. If I wasn't there, he could have taken both of them in an Uber somewhere and just sexually assaulted the both of them. And so we got home, and Emily starts throwing up. My wife, like, I put her to bed. She was just passed out cold. And, our friend, she never throws up, and they're both.
Was she throwing up?
Yeah.
Was it black?
I don't know. I didn't see inside there, but she was on the couch, like squirming around. And I'm like, we've gotten drunk many, many times, and my wife and her friend can handle their liquor, and her one friend, we've never seen her throw up at all. And then the next day, they were both saying they didn't remember anything after 10 p.m. basically. And it was so scary, because I had never seen the effects of what a roofie really does. And it's just disgusting. You realize how many men, like, they know what it does, and I just can't imagine, even if like, okay, she's gonna do whatever I say or come with me and won't remember anything. It's just, it's just so disgusting. Like, to me, it's attractive to have a woman actually want to be with you and choose you, instead of you forcing yourself on her, or, and so it was just.
That's normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's something creepy and perverted and weird and, just creepy about guys that would want a woman to be like a dead weight, because that's what happens. You turn into a dead weight eventually.
Right.
It's not cute. It's like you're throwing up, and like you're a dead weight, and you're like writhing around, and it's like, it's so gross, but someone would want that. It's very strange and creepy.
Right.
But
Yeah, like you said, writhing around. That's exactly what her friend was doing on the couch. And it was just this uncomfortable. And I had kind of sat with her because I was just like, what is going on here? I was like, had a great night. I was like, had an awesome night of comedy. And then it just ended in this very unusual thing. And so, like, what was your experience? You said you had been roofied. Now, is that tied at all to Jelly Roll or anything? Or is this like, how does that play into it?
Everything is tied to everything. So, which is, I'm actually learning new things every day. Since I put out Cosplay Christian and since I started making the videos, I have so many people sending me more that I'm learning about what happened to me, like as I go, which is wild. So I'll tell you one first roofie thing. I was on Bunny XO's podcast, 2021, it might have been, I think it was. And she never released the episode. However, she released a highly edited little clip about me talking about being roofied. And I have a joke, actually, after I was roofied the first time in my life, back in like my early 20s, I made a joke and I threw it in my stand-up about how, oh, don't bother trying to roofie me, guys. I've been roofied so much, I could smell the cocktail. It's like a, connoisseur. I'm like, okay, he's from that corner. I know this one, like, oh, is this in 1995,
I can taste the round pepper nodes in this roofie. Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm gonna throw up in 3, 2. Yeah. So I had that, and I said part of that bit on her show.
Okay.
Now, didn't Bunny or whoever she gave this footage to chop it up really, really tight? I mean, there's like 2 words and then cut, and then 3 words cut.
Right.
Made it seem like I just said I've been roofied 6 times. And then just made it seem like that was normal. Like that's.
And is that true that you've been roofied 6 times?
I've probably been roofied more than that. It doesn't mean I actually got the roofie. It doesn't mean I got it. I caught them multiple times.
Wow.
Like I caught this guy like back when I was probably like 22 at a bar in Toronto. I came up from back then. You had to like leave your drink with the security guard or the little table when you go to the bathroom. I come back and my straw was spinning, and I was like,
oh my God.
And I just turned and looked to see who was staring at me at the bar. And this one like really creepy guy was, and he was like, and then he turns around and I just walk up to him. I brought a bar back and a bouncer with me. And I was like, search this guy right now. I think he drugged my drink. And they found like a little baggie on him. They caught him, but thank God I didn't have it that night. The one night I was roofied back then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I have been like roofied a bunch of times in my life, but like it's a long life. And I used to work in nightlife, and like if you divide it by how many times I've been to bars and events and whatever, and it's not like I just wasn't watching my drinks.
No.
Most of the time it came from the bartender.
Right.
So that's the scariest part. Yeah.
Right. And I think the bartenders a lot of times can be in on it as well. And I'm just like, I just couldn't imagine, like, I don't think bravery is the right word, but like, God, the audacity to like, and maybe they're slick with it. They put it in the drink so fast that, I just couldn't imagine. And then, like you said, you looked around the bar to see who's staring at me. How creepy. Because I'm picturing, it's the guy next to you, but no, it could be a guy who puts it in, goes to the bar, and like almost like hunting. He's just like, okay, give it 10 minutes. And now I know that I can walk up to her and she's mine. And that is terrifying.
It is terrifying. So that experience is like where my joke was based off of, like those experiences I had back kind of early 20s. And like one time I got a roofie and then I got away. I was like, uh-oh, I'm roofied. And I got into a taxi and I got home. So like I was roofied, but nothing happened those nights. Thank you, God. But that's what my joke is based off. It's like real life experience that kind of sucked. Now, Bunny gave the footage to someone else, or she edited this herself, because it seems like her cousin or her best friend put this clip out too. And the clip makes it seem like I said I was roofied all these times, but Ryan Upchurch saved me. If you look at that clip, there's so many edits in it that she made it seem like I said something I never even said. And she never released the full podcast so people could actually see what was being said. And then her comments below those clips are, yeah, she's so crazy. Like, oh yeah, she was roofied this many times. She's nuts. Like, things along those lines.
Right. Because you would think women would support each other in this and not the actual, abusers of it.
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Class. Yeah. I mean, you see, and I have this clip that of her podcast. Let me see if this is something we were kind of talking about.
Want to cover up the roofie epidemic in Nashville. It's become noticeable to the internet that Jelly Roll's wife, Bunny XO, attacks women who tell their stories of being roofied in Nashville. Famously, she claimed that Nicole Arbor was lying about being roofied, although eyewitnesses were there and saw the aftermath. Plus, she didn't know Nicole Arbor, so how would she know what happened that night?
I'm so fucked.
Why does Bunny XO want to cover up the roofie epidemic in Nashville?
That was it. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So why would she be commenting on that when she doesn't know me and she wasn't there that night? Why?
Unless she was covering for somebody. And then does Jelly Roll does he own a bar in Nashville? Is that?
I think he owns a bar. There's a bar with his name on it in Nashville. And I've heard, I don't know if this is for sure, but I have definitely heard a lot of girls saying that they've felt like they were roofied after his bar. I don't know if that's true. That wasn't my experience, but I was definitely roofied in Nashville. And then for some reason, Bunny wanted to call me a liar about it, but I didn't know her, which is very strange. And then she wanted to put that clip together to make it seem like I'm some crazy liar that gets roofied all the time.
Right.
Why? Why would you want to do that? Now, I have something I have a couple things to make your mind spin.
Okay.
Okay. So, I got a little battery here. Perfect. Excuse me. In 2024, Bobby from Really Good Podcast, you know her? It's the girl. Bobby? She did that famous clip with Drake. She's a really cute
Bobby
white girl.
Althoff.
Yeah, Bobby Althoff. So I think it was 2024. She flew into Nashville to do a podcast with Bunny and Jelly Roll.
Oh.
It seems like later that night she was roofied. Wow. Now, within minutes of her being carried like a lifeless doll or like a rag doll out of the bar, TMZ had the footage within minutes.
Wow.
Now, I asked TMZ when I talked to them, I know you're friends with TMZ, but when I talked to them about this Jelly Roll thing, I was like, how did you get that footage? You know, before I talk to you about any of this, like, how did there is no TMZ in Nashville. So that means there was someone at the exact bar at the exact time, early on a Monday morning, because that's when this was, who got that footage and they knew where to stand, like across the street, aimed directly at that bar, right at her. That's weird to me. That's very weird to me. Yeah. And they didn't have an answer for me. But TMZ has been running fluff pieces about Bunny and Jelly Roll for months and months and months. And I was told they have them on retainer, that they're paying them a monthly fee to get things out. You know, that's just what I was told. However, about an hour ago, they didn't run anything since I started putting out my videos. They took a pause on that. But about an hour ago, they put out a story that says, it was joy and pain for Jelly Roll at the Grammys. He says he crashed an ATV and broke his collarbone just before the show. So it's like, it's this thingy here.
Yeah, I just saw that video.
You're ready for the however. If you zoom in on the photos, which I've been doing, you zoom in on the photos, it says either December 15th or December 18th on those x-rays. 2025.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. It was a while before that, which is interesting. Yeah,
it seems like they're running cover, you know?
Interesting. Yeah, because I can pull up that video of Jelly Roll. Yeah, because like, why did that just drop today? I just saw that. Jelly Roll.
Let's be real. In my opinion, they're running cover. Like, they're trying to do PR cover up. Like, quick, make him a victim again, so everyone feels bad for him.
Yeah, I think so. Let me here's that video real quick. I'll pull it in. Yeah,
sure.
He like broke his collarbone, and his wife's like, "Is this gonna give you street cred?" Like, well, all the hillbillies are gonna like me now
because I was on an ATV.
Because I crashed an ATV. That makes my fans happy. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I've heard from some people who are saying, you know, like, because where's his big message? You know, at the Grammys, you know, it's like, I can't say it now, but y'all will hear from me very soon about my feelings. And I'm like, we haven't heard shit from him. Here's this video.
A little ATV wrecker. You are not gangster. You think this gives you more street cred?
Now, listen, man, I'm a country boy now.
Right there. December 15th or 18th.
Interesting. And they're trying to say it was January. It was right before.
Grammys were what, February 1st, maybe?
Yeah.
So they're trying to say it was right then, but it looks like it was before Christmas. So why the inconsistencies? Why the lies? Why saying I lied about being roofied? Why editing the footage and putting it out? Yeah. There's a lot of what you doings. How did that footage get to TMZ of Bobby? Like when she flew into work with you guys, like, were you guys with her? Like, you know, it's just a lot of questions that keep popping up.
Questions. Yeah. I mean, as we should ask. And so, Nicole, you're a comedian. I was just going to maybe pull up one of your songs, which is pretty hilarious if you want me to play something here.
Sure.
But like, just tell people a little bit about, you know, who you are, your career, and, you know, what, you know, type of entertainment stuff you do. Because you're a comedian, but you're a singer. Like, cause you do like funny, like, you know, I'll pull up the song in a minute, like hilarious songs. Now you do
I'm
other
a comic,
stuff.
and then I do music.
You're a comic. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm a comic, and then I've been in like music for a very long time. And like since I was one of those like musical kids since I was little, and then growing up, and then I was doing more like country rock vibes, but it always goes back to rap for me in some way. So that's why I did that for Cosplay Christian, and then the next one that came after that was Boogeyman, another one about
Boogeyman. Okay, let me see. I think this is maybe
Cosplay Christian. Not long ago, there was a drug dealer who married a hoe. Wanted to be famous, so he sold his soul, and his friend fell in love with a girl in a coat. His best friend, he had a lot of fans, so Big Man and Ho, they made a plan. How his friend get the girl should be a whiz, then his best friend's fans, they would be his. When Nicole didn't feel it, she thought he was gay. Got a restraining order just to keep him away. Big Man and Ho said, we'll help your friend. If she won't love you, then we'll plot her end. We'll kill her career and take her life. She'll regret the day she refused to be your wife. His fans work for blood, they love gang stalking. But Big Man said, something bigger needs talking. Drug and rap games are made to last, but Christian rock and country are praying cash. I'll say I'm saved, they'll think I'm legit.
Fuck the establishment, fuck country radio, fuck all that shit. Fuck country radio, fuck all that shit. Fuck country radio, fuck all that shit. Fuck all that shit, fuck all that shit.
Cosplay Christian, keep playing victim. Time to flip the table on your lies. Praying all the children, really all the villain. Hollywood demon in disguise.
I love it. That is so great. I love the video too, man. I just
thank you.
It's so great, like just so perfectly shot and everything, and the pigs in it and all. It's really funny.
Did you notice that there's face tattoos on the pig?
What'd you say?
Feminem. People keep saying.
Feminem.
Feminem. I was like, I'll take it. Hilarious. I like that. Did you notice there's a little bit of face tattoos on the pig? I tried my hardest.
Yes, I just saw that. That is, the detail is really amazing.
It's hard to do that on a pig. It's hard. I'll tell you.
Yeah. How did you do that? What did you? Is it like CGI
Carefully.
or you like?
No, it was a eyeliner marker. I was like, okay, Piggy, you and I, we're gonna be friends. Okay, just chill out. And
that is so funny. That's hilarious. And the other one is Boogeyman, you said?
Yeah, Boogeyman. That one's darker.
Let me pull. Is that too dark, do you think? Or
I don't know.
It's not a video on here, or is it?
It's just the cover of it.
Yeah,
the hook is fun.
Like, he got caught
eating his boogers behind the president at UFC after he was shaking hands with the president and all cool with Kid Rock and the president. But he's not MAGA and he's not a Republican. But he was at Tucker Carlson's house for his Christmas birthday party with him and Candace Owens. But he's not Republican. You know, like, just stop lying. Why are you guys always lying?
Well, and I've heard people tell me rumors like, oh no, he's not MAGA. He you know, he's actually the opposite of that, and he's going to come out and maybe tell people, you know, I don't know. It's just, you know,
I just found something else. Let's say he broke his collarbone December 18th, let's just say, or 15th. He was at Tucker Carlson's birthday party like a couple days later. So clearly it wasn't that bad.
Right. Which your collarbone, that's I mean, even at the Grammys, if they're trying to act like, you know, that was very close. I mean, he seemed fine, and you cannot raise your arm and go, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. You know,
with that nice little Bible that was brand new, fresh out of the package, never opened, you know, very crispy.
It's so terrible.
It's his Bible from when he was in prison 20 something years ago. Is it really? Come on.
it's so obnoxious. I'll pull up his speech if people haven't seen it. And it's just like, I really wish Jesus would come back so he could be like, you're full of shit. I didn't say that. You suck at like
maybe he would slap somebody with the open hand of the Lord that needs
literally.
it.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Or, I mean, he would get deported. That's the truth of it is they'd be like, I mean, because I just saw JD Vance when they were asking him about what the Pope said about, the invitation to Trump's board of peace or whatever. And JD Vance like, well, or it was Tom Homan who was talking about it. He's like, well, I'm a devout Catholic. I'm a practicing Catholic. And, the Pope does, Jesus was for law and order. And it's like, how do you know this? Like, where in the scriptures does Jesus say I'm about law and order? And he's like, and try and
like
climb over
the original.
Yeah, exactly. It's like try and climb over the walls of the Vatican. It's a lot worse than climbing over. It's like all this stuff. Like they would make excuses if they didn't like hearing what Jesus was saying. I'd be like, accept all. Like, here's the video from the Grammys that really it annoyed me seeing this.
Kick me off here, so just let me try to get this out.
Okay.
First of all, Jesus, I hear you and I'm listening, Lord. I am listening, Lord. Second of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife. I would have never changed my life without you. I'd have ended up dead or in jail. I'd have killed myself if it wasn't.
Thank God for this porn star. And let's keep in mind the collarbone, it was his left shoulder. So let's see what his left side does here.
Jesus, okay. I thank you for that. I thank you for my label, Broken Bow, Country Radio, baby. What's up, dog? Oh, Republic, John Manili, we did it, baby.
Man, he lifted that left arm there.
There was a time in my life, y'all, that I was broken. That's why I wrote this album. I didn't think I had a chance, y'all. There was days that I thought the darkest things. I was a horrible human. There was a moment in my life that all I had was a Bible this big and a radio the same size and a 6x8 foot cell. And
that's your fault.
Those two things could change my life. I believe that music had the power to change my life and God had the power to change my life. And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him. I love you, Lord.
No, I mean,
I like how they played Liar right after. You hear that?
That's funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. The irony
that was
there.
Jesus right there. That was Jesus. That Liar came on
right there. And I mean, again, he's holding that Grammy with his left arm. He doesn't lift his left arm all the way up and everything, but it's still, people are like, oh, I applaud him for that stuff of, It's
saying
just
the
so
script that we all want to hear. It's such BS. And if you knew that behind the scenes, he's like that Screamy video with the shoe kid.
Right.
That's who people experience in real life. That's who I experienced in real life. And
exactly.
Yeah, he's just, okay, wow, broken collarbone, sure in hell would not be moving head and arm like that. Yeah, you're nothing but a liar. Like,
right. Yeah, it's very.
That's the thing.
Right. It's very true. Because even, let's just say if it was like the date we saw December, I mean, you're still a month later, a collarbone injury like that. That thing takes, months to heal where I'm sure you can be doing any bit of movement and without having wearing any kind of a brace or whatnot. It just is a little sus for sure.
I think everything about them is sus. And because in my experience, they just lie constantly. Ooh, do we have time to talk about one more thing?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Cool. So, because I saw a bunch of people commenting on your videos about this, the agreement that I was sent.
Right. So, and yeah, because I was like, oh, his name is Jason DeFord. At first I was like, who's this Jason DeFord? I was like, oh, that's Jelly Roll's real name is Jason DeFord. So tell us about you posted the receipts of the Hush agreement.
Indeed. And so comments that I saw that are pretty funny. One, people are like, that's not real because Alyssa DeFord is spelt wrong. Well, I didn't make the contract. Her lawyer did. So if they spelt her name wrong, whatever.
Sure.
That's nothing to do with me.
Right.
Second of all of their little henchmen that they have allegedly paid to come after me now, which are their group of friends all have criminal backgrounds and are making creepy videos about me now.
Okay.
They seem to have an old version of the agreement. We signed a ton of agreements along the way, from tolling agreements to whatever, just lots of stuff over the last year. And The one that their friends are posting is an earlier version of an agreement that after I signed it, I went, wait a minute, that didn't include an apology, which was the main thing that I wanted.
Sure.
And it doesn't seem to be what we said it is. Wait, I'm taking I want my signature off of it. So then my lawyers called him and was like, no, she doesn't agree to that. Took my signature off of it. Okay. And then what I posted was the last version. So what they posted, because they are just so dishonest, is something from January 2026. And I posted from like February, I think 11th, 2026.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just clearing that up for people in the comments.
Yeah. And I think it's important to, you were asking for an apology. It's not like you're like, hey, I want all this money. You're like, I just want you to say sorry. Which I totally understand that, because as a female, like I had a friend of mine, Christina Payne, a comedian who, this other comedian, Corey Holcomb, had punched her in the face outside of the Hollywood Improv. Wow. And for the whole last year, it's awful. They have the video, but they didn't release the video for about a year. And so within that whole year, everybody's like, Christina's crazy. She lies. This woman, don't believe her. A lot of people didn't believe her. And in fact, when the video came out, and I told her all along, I was like, yeah, it's terrible. I believe you and all this. And then when the video came out, I called her up and I was like, just seeing if she was okay and stuff. She's like, Sam, did you not believe me until the video came out? I was like, no, I believe you. She's like, okay, because I feel like it's okay. But a lot of people didn't believe her until they actually saw the video. And I think it goes to show how a lot of men don't want to believe their heroes would do things like this. These women are just lying to get money. And, and it just is like, you're a very talented artist and stuff. Like, I'm guessing you don't need this type of publicity to be successful in entertainment, so it's this idea that, a woman's going to come out and lie about this to what end, and to what what is the reward for it?
There's nothing cute. There's nothing cute about that. Like that's why I'm like, cosplay Christian, another diss track. There's more stuff coming. That's the art. That's me taking the things that happen to me and putting it into my art. That's where it's going.
Yeah.
But there's nothing cute about being a victim. I've never wanted to be a victim. I wasn't like, you have to pay me this amount of money or else.
Right.
They reached out to me, actually.
Right.
Like, I'm going to get into all of it very soon, but they reached out to me to make it right, was the word I heard, the phrase I heard. And I was like, oh, maybe he found God and he realized all of these things he has done are horrible and he wants to fix it. And, I had suggested a large donation to a charity that helps women in stalking and harassment situations. That's my main thing that I wanted, other than the apology. And then whatever else we could do to fix the damage that they had done. Like, there was no number that I'm like, I need this. I'm just like, I really need you to post that apology, though, so people know I'm not this crazy woman running around and whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. His publicist apparently ixnayed that and was like, no, then people are going to look into what he did and they're going to want to know what happened. And I'm like, well, whose fault is that? Like, you still owe me to make this right. And then when I realized like they're still being complete D-bags, I was like, well, then I'm going to make it right myself.
Right.
And then people need to know who you are. That's what needs to happen.
And that's a problem. Like you just said it, like the publicist, it's a money train and they don't want to, I'm even sure when he said, oh, I'm just a dumb redneck, they're like, Jelly, don't, if you love MAGA, if you don't say anything politically, because, country, you might lose a bunch of people if you're like, I think what's happening with immigration is wrong. Or if you say you love ICE, maybe you'll lose people that way. Yeah. And so they don't want to, but
so when did he become a redneck? I'm just wondering that part too, because he's from Antioch and had like cornrows, and that's like a super urban neighborhood, and he was doing like battle raps.
Right, he came up as a trap rapper, and it was like I was saying at the beginning. My son just came up with it. It was like Post Malone did it. He was like, "White Iver son, I'm in balling ever since I was a young." He's like he's doing that. Like he had cornrows, was like trying to act black and everything. And now Post Malone is just, a country artist and everything. And it's just, you know, but then when Beyonce tries to do country, like, oh, that's not country, or Shabuzi, if y'all want a Shabuzi, you know, that one.
Yeah, I think Shabuzi's funny and fun.
I mean, but it's funny how, you know, but like white artists use Black culture all the time to get on, and then they switch over to country. And yeah, Jelly Roll, for people who don't know, he was a trap rapper who had cornrows, he had a gold chain, he had a grill, just trying to, you know, I think he was a mediocre rapper, but a lot of times, you know, people are like, oh shit, he's, you know, and yeah, it was so, this whole image he has now is just, I don't know. And the losing weight, I'm glad to see when people lose weight, but I even think he looks creepier. You know, I think a lot of these Ozempic faces.
I said he looks like a melted candle, and I stand by that.
Yeah, he really does. Like, and you see it, like, you know, I've seen people talking about Kelly Osbourne a lot lately. And her, you know, people are like, don't shame her. And it's like, you know, people aren't shaming her, but it's just like this Ozempic thing where your face is like, and you look like a skeleton. You're like, it doesn't look good. And then we're like, oh, she, you know, I don't think it's
Was she sad from her dad though? That's the only, with her, I was like, is it because she's not eating because her dad passed away? I felt bad about, I feel bad about that, you know?
Yeah, and look, and I'm not trying to, I mean,
but other people, we can make fun of other people.
Yeah, I don't know what she's going through and this and that, but I'll just speak to just this Ozempic craze that's sweeping the nation, that, you know, it makes you realize, like, you look good to have cheeks, and you know, like, to anybody out there, you know, I try to diet, I work out every day, I run, I do Pilates, you know, I love to eat, so I try to work out, but I also realize, because I know a lot of people who do the weight loss stuff, and there's this fine line of yes, being skinny and being healthy, but then going too far with it. Yeah, it's a very fine line of it, and you know, I think, like, it makes you realize, like I think Jelly Roll looked better heavy than he does now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, and I'm guessing he's healthier now.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
You live in LA?
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen anybody go for a jog on Sunset? That you could think of. When I saw Jelly Roll doing his little fake jog on Sunset in front of TMZ, I'm like,
right.
Who the jogs on Sunset?
Right. Yeah. No, it's not like a tourist does. Like, I jog like up in our neighborhoods. I live like close to Sunset Boulevard. But no, I mean, you don't want to go. It's like cars driving by and all that exhaust you're taking in. It's not the healthiest.
So gross.
Yeah. I think he was too, like, it almost looked like he was like by Rodeo Drive or so. Yeah. It's so performative. Like, and he's not jogging. He's just like, he's moving his shoulders.
He's moving his broken collarbone.
Right. Exactly.
How were you? Okay. Now I got this. How were you just jogging after you just broke your collarbone?
Right. Yeah. If anything, it does look like you said, that maybe happened in early December and he was healed by then. But TMZ is just now putting this out to kind of distract away from some of the bad publicity that he's getting now, because he's laid super low. I mean, he said, he's like, you're gonna hear from me very soon, and it's like, we haven't heard anything. It's been crickets. So.
Yeah, except for his wife and everybody's comment sections.
Right. Yes, exactly. And it's, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, keep your religion to yourself. You know what I mean? It's so obnoxious when you got to tell everybody that. And it's like, you're married to a porn star. You know what I mean? It's like, not saying, you know, porn stars can't be godly people as well.
She's not a godly person.
No, she doesn't seem like it.
Let's not.
And if it came down to it, do you think she'd really be with him if he wasn't rich and famous? You know what I mean? It's like she even said, she's like, his penis got bigger since he lost all the weight. I'm like,
put that out after Cosplay Christian made fun of his tiny peen, which I didn't mean to see, but I saw, because they made OnlyFans porn together. And then that was also on Reddit. So this is like, maybe I might be wrong, but I think it's like 2 years ago on Reddit. He's on her, like, this. Now you're a Christian. I could see your penis on Reddit, and I didn't want to, but it was there. Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't even
know. That's why they do that. Like, oh, it's bigger now. I'm like, you guys are ridiculous. You're evil villains and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Horrible evil villains and ridiculous.
That is so funny. That's what my friend, Tiffany Addis, she told me one time. She's like, yeah, if you lose weight, your penis gets bigger. And it's like, no, it's just the fat falls away from it, maybe, so it looks bigger. But
you can see it. You can actually see it
you
now.
can
You don't have to
actually see it, yeah.
lift it and get that waft of that smell again. It's like the heat just comes out at you.
Ooh,
oh gosh, something flies out.
I gotta say, God bless her, because that would not be easy. I'd have to roofie myself before doing that. Now,
and on that note,
are you Canadian at all? Because I've heard you say some about. Okay,
yeah, you heard it.
Yeah, I'm hearing some of the accent there. So
yeah, that's why I wasn't like versed in horrible, evil people. I didn't know about that. I didn't know they existed. I was like, I thought we just like hang and play hockey and shoot the shit and have fun.
Sure. That's so funny. Yeah, I picked up on that. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for coming on today. And, I wish you all the best, and we'll definitely keep in touch, and let me know when you want to come back on, when you have some new things to share. And yeah, let me know when you have new music, or if you ever make it to LA, let me know, maybe get on a show together or something like that. That would be fun.
That would be super fun.
I'm going to be in Naples, Florida in like April 1st, doing it off the Hook Comedy Club. So
amazing. Everybody in Naples, get there.
Yeah, there you go.
So many people in Naples.
Oh,
okay, send me that info. I know so many people out in Naples. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. No, please do, because I would love. I gotta sell some tickets out there, so I will definitely get you that info.
Sweet, and you're hilarious. I love watching your videos and your coverage of everything. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, anytime. And everybody, make sure you follow Nicole on TikTok, on Instagram, all of her socials. She's hilarious. And thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you. And the rest of this whole thing will unfold very soon.
Okay, good. Well, and we'll probably have to have you back on so we can kind of, talk about that as it comes out.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay. Take care. Thanks again.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. All right, guys. This is Samson's World, where court comedy, culture, and your universe collide. Thank you so much for Nicole Arbor for joining us today. I got to go pick up my kids at school. But just want to say, everybody be good to each other out there. Light, love, health, happiness. Guys, don't be creepy. Don't roofie women. Do it the old-fashioned way with charisma, personality, and kindness. I love you guys. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president of the world.
Can you freestyle rap at all?
Not yet.
Doesn't it appear to be extremely coincidental that you guys arrest people right outside of Governor Newsom's press conference? Is this really just a show of power?